This is Jeff P. It is June 30th, 2019, and I got something pretty cool today. A pattern that we're seeing emerging in the sky. And how do we get there? What is the pattern? The sky. It's getting pretty predictable, but weird at the same time. What is the pattern? Well, it starts off with a V shape. So I'm going to show you a video that I caught on June 25th. You can see I named it Peace, Love, Joy. Why? Well, I uploaded this private video with 0 views, saying nothing in it, but in the title I just put Twintail. And lo and behold, I looked and it said, I clicked on it and it says, the YouTube community has this is disturbing video. Click at your own risk. Something to that degree. So I changed it, Peace, Love, Joy, and that disappeared. Imagine that. 0 views. What is the pattern? Well, this was on June. This was just last Tuesday. So let's watch. Well, I'm going to scroll this back and forth. So here is the V shape. Now I'm curious to see how many other people are catching this, but that's really caught my attention. This has been happening in our skies, and at least here, for like a few weeks, but it's getting more predominant, more obvious. And what really caught my attention, not only is it happening all the time, that this V shape, it just comes to a point right here, like almost every day. And look at this. What really stands out to me is this. Why do we have like this fake popcorn cloud? Why is it dark in between here? And this electric like effect that we see outside of here. Just how does that form? It was like 100 degrees out, and it suddenly formed within minutes. And look at stretch all the way across the sky. In fact, this is in Sacramento. I got footage of this that stretched all the way from Roseville. That was like over 10 miles away. I'll show you footage of that. So this was on Tuesday. The very next day, we saw, I got at 4:30, almost at the same time, this massive twin tail thing. It was clear blue sky, and this thing just suddenly formed, and we could see it stretching across the sky, and you could see the sun here during the setting of the sun. Well, because it's about 4:30 in the evening, this is to the west, this V-shaped thing. This is the pattern that we're seeing. And then later on out throughout the day, it is so important. What I like to point out is I found unnatural is these little spikes that are coming off, looking like electric-like nature coming off, because wind pattern, first of all, it's just wrong in so many ways. The wind travels in one direction at any precise altitude, and to see this branching off in so many different directions like an electric, like a tree branch, it just looks electric. How is that possible? Something travel this way and that way from the same source. I mean, does wind split in directions like that? Something's just wrong here. So that was the next day. And look what I found between this. Look at that. How do you get... Why does it look like a planet right in the middle of the sky? Does a plane fly in an orbit? Oh, and look at this one here too. And then, of course, you've got this amazing halo straight above us at the 12 o'clock position, high in the sky. Right. So this is what we get. And this is its perspective. We get this incredible planetary-looking object hiding a lens or a planet. And, again, we see this tail. Let's see if I can find the right angle here. And this was part of the tail down here. This really caught my attention. And then this side of the sky, it's a huge arcing tail. So the pattern I see is this V-shaped object. And then once again, in Roseville, This was yesterday. Let's see if I can catch this cloud-like shape basically heading to the east as the sun was setting. This was about noon. We could see this. Now, this was a single cloud, but they were like filling in the blanks. So this is the pattern. We see the V shape, and then they're using special craft to blast this craft out, and that's what I'm going to show you next. This is going to be some crazy stuff. So hold on to your hats. Check this out. And this is what I saw in my own backyard. We heard an airplane, which you're gonna hear the footage. I put it in slow motion mode, and what was the sounds of an airplane, which you're gonna hear. But these cloud-like formations I found was very suspicious, that they can go off in northeast, southwest, and have like this like it's come streaking off. You always wondered, how is a cloud heading in all these different directions? Something from the inside is shooting out from there. That's what I think. And want to see the video proof of it? Okay. So let's jump into it. It's great. Let's go. Okay, so I want to have the sound playing on this one. So with my iPhone 7, I go into slow motion mode, and when you do, for a first couple of seconds, we have its regular full speed. You're going to hear, and then it's going to go into slow-mo mode. So you're going to hear the plane that I heard that caused the one plane. This plane right here. Okay, this plane here. Or it doesn't look much of a plane, but that's what I thought was a plane. Caught my attention. And in slow motion mode, I put it back on regular PC, and we're going to watch this together, because this is some crazy stuff we're about to see next. Now I believe as it approaches this craft here, this is where we start to see some really interesting things as this plane approaches what I think a cloaked craft creating this fake cloud system with many little high-speed drone ships. And its cloaking method, I believe, according to Space Force, isn't the cloaking you're used to. It encapsulates itself in an electric contained plasma field that allows it to travel in and out, like basically dematerialize, so it can pass through matter. And when they turn invisible, they can literally, I believe, pass through matter like a portal. The same technology Tesla was using in the Philadelphia experiment. So I'm going to speed this up, because wait till the plane shows up here. This is where things get crazy. We're going to see dozens of craft heading in different directions, making these objects, or this cloud formation that we see, these little finger movement, which I believe its sole purpose is to spread out these clouds. The bigger ship creates it, and these little ships spread it out and create these finger-like movements, which is exactly what it looks like. Something shot out from here. There's one. No, that's ash. I also like to mention that I was doing some backyard burning in a fire pit, and there's some black object flakes, ash, rising slowly with the heat of the fire down below me. So it does rise up, but don't let that distract you from these objects. This here, which I believed was a plane, and that's why I'm following it. Watch what happens next, so I can catch. So when we catch, this thing starts pulling up a little closer. You can see the sound has changed. Now see, this is ash rising up from the heat. This is like just right below me. So it's rising up in the field of view. Well, we had this object here. So you guys see all these objects flying through here? Look at that. Appearing and disappearing. Let me zoom that out. We're going to play this. Wow. Look at this. Look at those two. Remember, this black stuff going straight up is the ash. Little pieces of ash coming from the burning wood. But look at these ones that are traveling this way. Follow my cursor. Look at this one here. See it traveling. And this one here that's flashing off and on. Materializing and dematerializing. I'm trying to say how to say it, but I believe in their material light visual mode is when they're the mode where they can actually move the matter or the cloud like material that they just put down from the mothership. These things. Look at this one here. See it appear and disappear. Look at this one flashing. Look at this one appearing through here. Now, when you go back out, it's just filled with these things. Here is the plane that I was keeping my eye on, but look at what I couldn't see without having this thing in slow motion and going back and reviewing it with my PC after uploading it. Look at this one here shooting across, going through the clouds. I also got to try different ways to show you. If I play it through a YouTube player, I can actually zoom in on it, which I know you many want to see these objects, watching it zoom in and out and replaying it over and over. Fortunately, YouTube, the type of player, I can't really easily scroll back and forth to show the things I want to show you. Well, let's just try it anyways from a different method. So here is that same video. Actually, let me mute this next previous one. Okay. So here's the incoming plane. With this player, I can't do the zoom in. Only the zoom in that I'm already doing with the cell phone. So here comes the plane. It sounds like a plane. You heard it in the early part of the video, just before it went into slow motion mode. And then just as you exit. Okay. So we pause there. So I can kind of point them out. Next to this piece of ash, we have the light here, but I can't scroll. And this one here, you guys see these two? This one and this one. This is the plane I was watching. So watch me scroll this back and forth. Look at these two, either working with concert with each other, or they are the same object, but because of the light bending, not light bending, the light just travels through it. It's a little different than cloaking. So here is the ash. Here is one here showing up through there. Did you guys see that one? Like catch. There's so many. It's like I'm trying to show even one of them. So watch this one appear right here and then disappear. And there's another one over here. I mean, it's just filled with them. Appearing and disappearing. Next time I do this, I'm not going to have a... There's one here traveling here. This one just lights up like plasma. They're electric. I believe it because the electric universe theory that in its electrified plasma state is what helps them cloak. So they basically materialize when they don't want to make the effect through the cloud. Look at this one here. It suddenly appears right here. Right? We have this one over here. We've got one over here. This one suddenly appears. They're just dancing around each other. And I believe this is how they're creating this effect right here. They're just shooting out when they materialize in our world. They can affect this matter, this water vapor or chemtrails. This one's shooting up here. Look at this one here flickering as it's traveling across the sky right here. This is approximately 1,500 to 2,000 feet in the air. Like Mother Cloud video, it was maybe 300 feet, extremely low. This was actually pretty high. And we could, so let me go back to the one where I go to the YouTube page, where I could zoom in on it. because I can't zoom in on a player. So let's play that right about here. So this is what I was tracking with one of the planes. This is what I thought was the plane. We heard that in the earlier part of the video. You can see the sound is even sound slow-mo, right? Everything sounds different because it's recording in slow motion also. There's this one reappearing, disappearing. Look at these things shooting all over the place. Here, here, here. I mean, it happens pretty fast. Here's one that suddenly appeared here. Did you guys see that? Is that crazy or what? Let's keep playing. Look, it was almost like they hit each other right there. Here's one appearing and disappearing. Right where that ash was rising, this was ash. Yeah, so I always wondered how they were able to create this effect of these little things that shot out. That's because of these things that when in its non-cloaked state will whip through this and move this cloud-like material out like this, creating like this electric-like cloud. I mean, since when clouds look like this? Why would just this one little piece? It just doesn't make any sense. That's why it just doesn't look natural, because it's not. And again, if you weren't paying attention, look at these ones here. Let's zoom in on those right there. Let me back that up a notch. Okay, here we go. We'll zoom in this as far as we can go with this. Do you see those orbs? You call them orbs. I'm going to call them crafts. Look how they're moving this matter around. This one suddenly appeared right here. This one disappeared. If you missed this, you can go back and slow this down even more. In fact, I'm going to do that. This is normal. I'm playing at normal speed, which was recorded in slow motion. So we'll slow this down even more, because it just happened so fast. For your viewing pleasure. Hit the play button here. So that's what's cool about using the player, because I can actually minimize the player, but then literally zoom in on it as it's playing. Let's see. Let's catch these things. We see an orb here. There's a little piece of ash flying by. Here's the one suddenly emerging, pulling out some of the cloud with another one here. Pulling out the cloud with it in its wake. There's another one here. Spreading this stuff out. Here's one hiding in the midst of this cloud right there. Re-emerging. Disappearing. We'll be tracking this movement with my cursor. Then it'll reappear. Look at two of them suddenly appeared right before your eyes. We've got this slowed down 1/4. Disappearing again. Wow. Right before your very eyes. That's how this is happening. Here's one appearing and disappearing. They all come out like fireworks out of this thing. There's some ash flying up, straight up. Not to be confused with the horizontal movement of these other objects that have light. Wow, look at this one pulsing off and on. Look at that right here. See, I'm tracking it with my mouse. This here was the plane that I was focusing on. Did not see this while I was recording it. Wow, you can see the ash flying up, right? So I think they have to travel a little slower when they're dragging out in a wake. You can't fly through the... So, there you have it. I was wondering how the stuff was able to instantly form these little finger-like things. Instantly. Look at... Keep your eye on this one and this one. There was only one plane that I heard in the sky. I didn't hear two sets of props. This one here disappears. Well, so I hope you like this video. Let me play this one more time for all those that are missing this. See if I can zoom in this in. It was so much happening so fast. I mean, it almost like in the blink of an eye, these clouds will form. And these have to appear and disappear in and out. Look at this one where my mouse is here. This little black thing is the ash. But over here, look at this suddenly emerge from here, taking out some of the cloud with it. Another one shooting up here. Suddenly, I mean, they're changing directions. They're nearly missing each other. This is slowed down. Let me pause this. Here's a, just kind of show you just how slow motion really is. Here's a police helicopter flying overhead to check out this. Notice the propeller we could see. We can actually see it moving. It was basically a blur. That's slow motion. This is how your eye wouldn't be able to catch those separate blades of the helicopter. And yeah, we saw the one in Roseville. Yeah, I thought that was pretty bizarre. So there's your pattern. The V-shaped pattern. This is Google Sky. This is, I think, the V-shaped pattern they're hiding from. So this is the Orion constellation using Google Earth. Okay? And this is Planet X, just above the belt of Orion. That was discovered for our viewing pleasure. These two planets, particular Planet X itself, with this split tail. This is exactly what I think. These never actually come to a connection because they're on each side of this massive planet. So we expect to see a tail here and a tail here that never meet in the middle, because this infrared planet, which we can't see because it only emits the infrared light, which was found in the Orion's, just above the Orion constellation, Orion. That's where it came from. That's where it's going back to. So here we see, I find the Orion. Well, it is here, Orion. Okay. It's the belt of Orion. Okay, let's go back to this video. Let's watch. I'm going to do this again. It's just, so many people keep missing this, so I'm going to keep zooming in until you guys see it. Really, it's hard to point out multiple objects at the same time. This is now slow motion, slowed down 1/4 speed to further show you. They were moving relatively quick, flashing in and out, disappearing and reappearing. I think when it's in this state is when it actually moves the matter. These cloud-like material to spread it out. We have ship. These are the paths of the crafts. That's what these are. The path it took in its wake and dragging it out with it, spreading it out. So first you get the V shape, and then they fill in the gaps because they've only got so much craft to cover this up. If they weren't doing this at all, I really believe we'd be seeing two giant dark streaks going all the way across the sky. And I hope that you guys take notice of this. If you've got this happening in your town and you catch it on slow motion or regular video, I would like to see. I am pretty confident that we're seeing this around the world, or at least areas where we have clear skies. Oh, which, by the way, yesterday was mostly sunny, but as soon as it's about noon, it was mostly chemtrail-y. We would want to say that. So that, let's see if we can spot some more of this appearing and disappearing. Let's see, we're gonna get you have to be patient when we're doing slow motion because it just takes all the longer to wait for that one moment. It has that whatever it is that's going to happen to appear and disappear. But if I would want to take the time to actually record this, the entire event in slow motion. So here's the plane. I'm going to skip this forward a little bit. This is when it really starts to light up with these crafts. There's one here. Let's zoom in that one. You guys see this? Look at that. There's another one right here pulsing across the sky. That's ash going right up with the air. This is what I thought was the aircraft making that noise. Looked like a small single prop airplane. You can always hear those buzzing overhead. One plane. Well, here's one here shooting up straight up. My mouse here. So I was trying to keep this a short video. We shot. Yeah, just kind of go back and forth, waiting for that moment for this to happen. I thought you guys would really like that. Industrial Surrealism, his YouTube channel. Unless I get a copyright strike, but he's talked about the same thing. That's exactly what these things do. They dock and they spread the stuff out with the main triangle ship, and then they spread this out. And that's basically just the wake of a ship that was going through this path right here. So here we had one here. See my arrow? Let's watch that one. It almost looks like a ball of light. Anybody with an iPhone 7 or higher, you have the slow motion feature. Look at that right here. See this? Looks like there's something behind it. Look at that thing. Wow. So go catch your own. Next time you see these bizarre like clouds, look at this right here. I'm following this one particular one. I mean, there must have been like 20 or 30 of these things. You got back to original footage of this. That was pretty. I was surprised, but not really. I kind of knew what it was all along, but just I was surprised I was actually able to catch it. Here's one here. Let's zoom in on this one. Yeah, I see this. Huh. Look at that. Just disappeared. Almost completely. Vanish. And then reappear. And we have ash rising up here on the left corner here. This suddenly taking directions. Almost a zigzag motion here. That's some crazy stuff, man. Well, I think that's pretty compelling. Please copy, like, and share this video. Have a blessed day.